It's the Melbourne Storm. They have a great squad. They obviously will be missing Cameron Munster in that position due to his finger. He'll be missing for a few weeks, but Baxter, take it away.
Yeah, we've got Nick Meaney to show why he should keep that number 1 jersey in the fullback role. We've got Will Warbick and Xavier Coates to make the wing roles. Raymond Smith and Young Tupanua in the centre roles, with Tyron Wishart to make his start for the 6 jersey, and Jerome Hughes in the 7. Big Nelson Sofa Solomona in the 8, with Kristen Welsh to make the forward pack. Harry Grant, the man leading the Dally Ams at the moment, in the hooker role, with Trent Leora and Ezra Katoa in the second row position, with Josh King to make the lock. You got Bronson Garlic, Alex McDonald, Aaron Payne, Jordan Grant, and Grant Anderson to round out the 18th jersey. They got. I wouldn't say they got lucky to get the win last week, because they could have taken the 1 point and taken the 2 points. But Harry Grant likes to sniff out anything in that lazy defender role area, and he made him pay with that golden point try. Again, that's why he's the leading Dally M, scorer at the moment on 6 points, which you found a bit odd. New rules, you can gain a maximum of 6 points in the Dally M's at this stage. Good all around over the park. Yeah, they look a bit soft in some areas. Yes, it is round 1. No, I'm not just talking about round 1, but I'm talking just a pack. There are some little small cracks that if a good team can sniff out and find, they can make you pay. But I think they have the defensive caliber from their coach Craig Bellamy to right the wrongs in their defensive errors, and they can come home with a win here.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, still no sign of Tariq Sims in his squad, so they still do have a few forwards coming back. So when they do come back, this side's going to go from strength to strength. But they are playing a Bulldogs side who, like you said, they gave it a crack. They didn't quite have it. They went down quite heavily to Manly. They are sitting last. But Hayes Perham, Jacob Carraz, Jake Avarillo, Paul Alamotti, Josh Adokar, Matt Burton, Flanagan keeps his position in the 7. Max Kin, who's coming off probably one of the games of his life. Reid Mahoney in the 9. Ryan Sutton, Big Kicks in the 11. RFM, Fa'amanu Brown, Jaden Tanner, Corey Waddell, Franklin Pele, Jacob Preston, and Braden Burns. Now, this side, they got blown off the park. Let's be completely honest. They were terrible against Manly. Nothing seemed to stick together. And I guess my first question to you before I get your prediction is, if you look from 6 down to 13, you're looking at a side that can compete for that top 8. You're looking at, let's go 5 to 13. You're looking at a side that can compete. You're looking at a side that's going to go crazy. But then I look at that 1 to 4, the players that are going to get there, they're going to take hit-ups when the forwards are tired. They're making those try-saving tackles. It just doesn't scare me. A backline of Perham, Carraz, Avarillo, and Alamotti. It doesn't scare me. So what are your thoughts on this squad? What are your thoughts on that backline? And then give us your prediction for the game.
Yeah, this squad's all on. Yeah, sorry. This squad's all signs pointing to hopeful at the moment, hoping that all these players, all the new players, come together and gel very, very quickly to get some wins and points on the scoreboard to get them higher up the ladder. I'll back Kyle Flanagan. I think he's a great 7 who just hasn't been shown the time and effort to be put into molding him into the perfect 7 that everybody wants him to be. Yes, he has Matt Burton around him, but one player can't help the whole team and carry it towards a grand final win. I said it in the preview. There was moments in the game where they look good in individual performances, but as a team, they didn't stand up as one. And you come up against this strong Melbourne team that has this defense sort of driven into them by their coach, Craig Bellamy. You need to withstand the pressure of Melbourne having the football. Let them have the football in your red zone for 3-4 sets of plays if you have to, but just make sure that defense is on point and you are all talking and moving as one and keeping this Melbourne out from scoring a try. That's the only real tips I have for for the Bulldogs, should I say? Sorry for that team. But my prediction: Melbourne at home. I'm going 13 plus. What about you, Tony?
Man, I wish you'd stick back to your 1-12s because we've gone quite similar in the games we think are going to blow out. Now, the Dogs can't play as bad as they did last week. Melbourne, well, without Cameron Munster, when they do have Jerome Hughes, they still have a great record. So I think if I'm looking at who's the most valuable out of those two players, I'm picking Hughes. And that's a very, very probably uncommon response, but I'm taking Hughes over Munster. I'm building around Hughes. And I think that's what we're going to see here now. Obviously, Melbourne, they're missing a few forwards. They're going to have a few tired bodies, but I think they get the job done. I was going to go 13 plus until you said 13 plus. I'm backing the Dogs to bounce back a little bit. So I'm going to go to Bulldogs to lose, but they're going to lose 1-12. So Melbourne 1-12. I think they get the job done at home, but it's not going to be as pretty. It's going to be a bit clunky without Cameron Munster, which we saw when he went off last week, but ultimately they get the job done in a 1-12. But